Are you tired of having the same conversation with the same person about the same mess over and over and over again? Whether it's the lesson plans that never get turned in on time, the attitude at drop off, or the break room drama, you are not alone. But guess what? Correcting behavior isn't the same as coaching growth. And in today's episode of the Child Care Director's Chair, we're going to upgrade your leadership from micromanaging to mentoring. It's time to shift from quick fixes to lasting change. Because when you coach well, your team levels up. And your stress level, honey, that goes all the way down. The art of real coaching versus random feedback. Feedback is a moment. Coaching is a method. What random feedback looks like. Can you please stop doing that? Make sure it's done this way next time. Or, we've already talked about this. These are reaction based, not growth based. They correct and they do not cultivate. These comments can happen when you're frustrated or in passing and don't lead to change because they lack clarity, context, and follow up. What real coaching looks like is it's ongoing. It's intentional conversations tied to growth goals. You focus on why something needs to improve, not just what went wrong. Real coaching sounds like this. I want to support you in getting stronger here. Let's walk through what's happening and what we can shift. Or, I'm noticing a pattern and I'd like to work with you on it, not just point it out. You see, your coaching mindset is you're not the fixer, you're the facilitator. Your job is to help a staff member uncover their own blind spots and build better habits. That way, you do not have to constantly be the one making the corrections. We want them to be able to lead themselves. Ask questions that guide insight, like what would success look like for you in this area? Or where do you feel stuck? Be the mirror for your staff member, not the micromanager. Let them see what's happening and choose how to change. How do you do this? How do you build people up? Well, simple, effective growth plans. You don't need a binder full of paperwork. You just need a clear path forward. What a growth plan isn't. It's not a punishment or a paper trail for firing someone. It's not about catching someone doing something wrong. It's about helping them get it right. And if your tone or your energy feels like discipline, the staff are going to resist. If it feels like development, then they're going to lean in. Like what a growth plan is a roadmap with your goals, timelines, and support. Like over the next 30 days, we're going to focus on improving your classroom transitions. Here's what success looks like, and here's how I'll help. Break the plan into 2 or 3 small goals tied to specific behaviors. For example, a goal would be improve morning transitions. The step would be greet families with eye contact and a verbal welcome. And then support would be maybe you observe twice a week and give feedback. The 3 elements of an effective plan and clarity, what needs to change and why. And use data, patterns, and examples. Be specific. In 4 out of 5 drop-offs this week, families left without interaction. And the support can be what tools, coaching, or check-ins are needed to help support that teacher. And it could be modeling, it could be shadowing a peer, or scheduling a weekly 10-minute coaching chat. And let people take ownership. What will they commit to doing between now and next time? Let them lead part of the plan of creation. Ask them, what's one thing you can take ownership on this week? And keep it short and keep it visual, just like we do with the kids. And you want to review it regularly. Now, what to say in hard coaching conversations, because tough doesn't always mean toxic. Say the truth with care, not instead of care. Start with expectations, not emotions. I want to revisit what excellence looks like in this role. Another example could be, let's talk about the impact of what's happening and how we can shift it. You absolutely want to avoid opening with frustration or assumption. Lead with shared goals and standards, and definitely stay grounded in your role. You're not calling them out, you're calling them up. You want to use clarity and curiosity. Like, I notice blank, and I want to understand what's going on from your side, because they may be doing something a particular way that makes sense to them, and it might make sense to you too if you allow them to explain. Another thing you could do is you can say, what do you think is getting in the way of consistency here? These questions create space for dialogue, not defensiveness. And curiosity turns confrontation into collaboration. So keep it forward focused. Here's what I believe is possible for you. Let's make a plan to get there. And when you do that, you're going to reinforce the belief and the next steps in the same breath. So show them you see more in them, not just more from them. So you're looking inward and you want them to really get to a place where they're their own cheerleader. Now, here's a little bonus, a little magic phrase. My role is to help you succeed here. Let's figure out what that really looks like together. This reframes you as a partner in their growth, not the judge of their performance. Now, you definitely want to track the wins and maybe some of the misses. The misses. That's funny. That didn't come out right. The misses. What gets tracked gets transformed. Why tracking matters. If you don't measure progress, you're going to assume there isn't any. And without data, coaching feels emotional instead of strategic. Tracking allows you to collaborate and celebrate progress and respond early to backsliding. And we all backslide, me including. It also helps you have a consistent coaching language across your team. Simple ways you could track it is Google Docs, although I don't love Google Docs, but I know so many of you use Google. I actually like Word, a coaching log, or even a sticky note system. But track what you observed, what was discussed, and what is next. Just keep it simple, guys. An example could be the date, the observed behavior, the conversation summary, the next step or goal. Now, of course, as always, you want to celebrate the wins. Like, you handle that classroom transition beautifully today. I can see a difference. Or you've shown real growth in how you communicate with families. Let's keep building on that. Wins build confidence and buy-in. Celebrate progress loudly and frequently. Now, let's also note the misses with care. This is still showing up. What do you think is keeping us from that shift? Or focus on problem solving, not punishment. Use missteps as a teaching moment, not a time to scold your staff. And realign with the original growth plan. Ask, what support might help this click for you next time? You see, getting buy-in, even from the most resistant folks, you can't force growth, but you certainly can foster it. So start with building trust. You know, people resist coaching when they feel that they're going to be judged, not supported. Consistency in your approach builds trust. Don't only talk to them when there's a problem, because we can do that. Create regular touch points that feel relationable, not just corrective, but building that relationship. Use connection before correction. Ask about their goals, their frustrations, and their wins. Maybe something like, what would make your day go smoother? Or where do you want to grow in your role? When people feel heard, they become more open to being helped. And find a motivator. Some people respond to praise, some to structure, some to a challenge. Observe and ask, what lights this person up and what do they value? And, there's some folks in our team that really like to be celebrated, like in public, in front of everybody. And there are others that are like, don't you dare put me on the spot, right? So know that and match your coaching tone to their personality, firm but flexible. You want to create visible progress, especially if you're doing something that's like a challenge. When resistant staff see small wins, their resistance turns into momentum, which is one of my favorite words. Public praise for even small improvements helps shift their mindset from guarded to growing. And the last example, last week you were really disengaged in the staff meeting. This week you shared an idea and it sparked a great conversation. That, my friends, is progress. So if you are ready to stop repeating yourself and start seeing real growth in your team, here's the next step. Choose one team member to start coaching instead of correcting this week. Just one. Use the 3-part framework: clarity, support, and ownership, and then track it. Take a screenshot of today's episode, tag me at CCDC Podcast with the caption, Coaching Over Complaining, and it starts today. So I can support you on your leadership journey. Because when you coach with purpose, your team doesn't just perform better, they grow stronger. And guess what, my friends? So do you. So thank you for tuning in to the Child Care Directors Share podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.